here in Arlington, Texas, World Series Game 2, just a couple hours away from first pitch. Jordan Spurgeon, Brad Sesmat, been in the clubhouse, been around the media room, and we're kind of seeing how this team, the Diamondbacks, are feeling ahead of Game 2. Brad, what's standing out to you so far?
Well, they've turned the page, and that's all you can do. You can't sit here. If any of you are taking this in, still whining about last night, it's over. That's the attitude that they have here. I liked what Joe Mantiply said about turning the page and how he's been there before. He's been in that situation that Paul Sewald was in last night. It's not a great feeling.
You know, I just try to, I've definitely been there. I've been there a lot. And so I just try to reiterate, you know, I went up to Paul, Casty, and, you know, Walk, I could tell was a little down too last night after the game, and just told him, like, you know, we wouldn't be here without you. You guys are three of the main reasons why we're in this position, and you're going to be three of the main reasons why we win it. So that always feels good to me when someone comes up after the game, and because, you know, you feel, you know, worthless in those moments personally. So, you know, just to, it always helps me when a teammate comes up and picks me up after a situation like that where I was involved. So that's always the first thing on my mind, is try to find a situation to pick them up.
Yeah, for me, we had the chance to talk with Mike Hazen yesterday, and one thing that stood out was how he acquired Ryan Thompson, and we were able to chat with Ryan Thompson about that as well, because he's a guy that many guys were kind of giving up on, but in this organization, lots of guys pounding the table trying to get him on the roster, and so Mike Hazen finally did, and seems like it's paying off.
Thompson, if I'm being intellectually honest, cleared unconditional release waivers, so that, you know, we all had access, including us, and passed, and he became a free agent, and we signed him on a minor league deal. So the guys in our office had been pursuing me all off season to go get him. I had talked to the Rays about trading for him at the time, but it didn't really end up happening. But they were on me, and we should have done this, you know, and they were right. And it only took me five months to not be so stubborn and actually go sign him. And so we've benefited from having, obviously he hadn't pitched up until that point, so getting him on the minor league deal was important, so we could watch him go pitch and make sure that he was, you know, back up to speed before we thrust him in the major league environment.
One of the first things that they told me when I signed was, they said they had a text thread going on where everyone was so excited, you know, throwing a celebration that they signed me, and I was a little confused, because I was like, man, I feel like I was convincing you guys to want me, you know. So it's been great, you know. As a professional athlete, like, for one, you want to be wanted, and you want to be able to feel comfortable, and you want to have that trust in you to go out there and perform. And, you know, the circumstances were specific, but, you know, my first day here, they trusted me in the ninth inning for a save opportunity. And that just showed that they believed in me, and that just adds a little bit of fuel to be like, I'm going to prove you guys right. You know, there's something about proving people wrong, but there's also something about proving people right.
So, Brad, obviously with an extra inning game, the bullpen gets stretched a little bit more than either team would like in a game once. Now you get Merrill Kelly taking on Jordan Montgomery, and so for Kelly, 5 innings in his last outing against Philly, looked better than he looked earlier in the postseason, but I think they're going to need a little more out of him.
Yeah, preparation, as far as preparation, has been the same. Going over the usual, you know, game plan and kind of homework that I usually do on anybody. Trying to treat it as much like a normal game as I can. Obviously, once I get out there, it's probably going to be very apparent to me that it's not, but I'm trying to treat it as much as a regular season game. I'm trying to go through my normal checklists and protocols that I can. Other than that, just trying to kind of embrace everything and trying to enjoy just being here. Like I said, looking behind me and seeing that World Series is obviously really special and really cool. So I'm trying not to you know, take anything for granted, trying not to miss any opportunity to kind of savor the moment.
Montgomery's tough. I mean, Montgomery is no joke, and I feel like for the Diamondbacks last night, they showed the ability to run. They can run on the Rangers, there's no question about that, but they just didn't have the base runners late in the game. How do they respond tonight to that? What adjustments does Texas make, as Corbin Carroll killed them again last night?
My philosophy is I have to manage the team that we have, and it's always going to be a little bit different. I might have a team in a year or two that can hit 3-run home runs and win a different way. But in this particular case, we have a bunch of speed and guys that love to execute. So I will manage them accordingly. What I learned in Japan are a lot of the things that I brought here. You know, it's the work ethic and dedication to the very small details of a baseball game. Our work habits in spring training, our work habits throughout the course of the season reflect that. I just know during my time in Japan that I became a better baseball player because of what I was being taught and what I was being told. So those are things that we do here. Now, they're not trick plays, they're not gimmick plays, but we practice rundowns. We practice how to tag on rundowns. We practice bunt plays. We practice the trick bunt plays. We practice all that stuff because we feel like little things could add up to a big moment and help us win a baseball game.
And here's one other thing that I took from today. There's a few things, Spurge, and that is, I know a lot of you want to go to the airport and greet the team, but you don't know what time. My little birds are telling me when the game ends, back out 4 hours. 4 hours to 4.5 hours, okay? From the final pitch, 4 to 4.5 hours, and you're going to be you'll see them at the airport. And they haven't been at the airport. The Philadelphia series ended and the Diamondbacks came right here. So it's been almost a week since they've been home. And I know everybody back in the Valley is pumped up, psyched up, geeked up, as they should be. But if you're like, why aren't these guys all pumping up, go Diamond, and all that stuff, it's just like, this is a long series. And what happened last night can be deflating. And it'll be interesting to see if they do, in fact, turn the page as they've said they've done.
Inside scoop for Brad Sesma at the plane. Whether it's 1-1 series, whether they're down 0-2, you're going to want to be there, reunite with the team ahead of Game 3 in Arizona.
What do you think about this place so far?
So far, Texas, they say everything's bigger in Texas. It lives up to the mantra. You got this beautiful stadium. Doesn't have a lot of soul or character, but it is very, very nice. And so things got loud as things progressed throughout the game, but when Arizona was doing their thing early on, it wasn't very loud. Maybe it's because everyone's just so nice here, but it's a really cool place.
They're all really nice. And so Spurge and I finished our stuff last night, and we're walking out in the rain. It was pouring rain. And it's like 1 a.m., and this is the life of what we do. And today I hit a soul food place down here with one of my childhood friends, so I got to go walk some laps because I was stuffed to the gills. But we're 2.5 hours away from game time. Really looking forward to the game tonight.
I'm going to walk off. I've had 3 helpings of barbecue in Texas. I'm good to go. So we're going to walk that off. We will see you at first pitch and after the game here at Globe Life Field.